Chitos and her maids discover that Nasa and Tsukasa's apartment has burned down, so they question Tsukasa to determine where she is living. Chitos is horrified when Tsukasa states that she lives in the local playground now. But when Chitos looks at her house, Tsukasa manages to escape. Meanwhile, Nasa has been organizing and investigating the old furniture in their borrowed room. And after finding a takoyaki board, he decides to host a party to serve the octopus ball snack. He tries to invite Aya and Kaname, but Kaname professes that her sister is still hesitant to be around Tsukasa because of her former crush on Nasa. Suddenly, Chitos barges in after tracking Tsukasa down, and the red-haired girl jokes that she lives on the floor of the bathhouse. Nasa spares Chitos from further teasing, and they reveal they are borrowing a room from the inn. And after Chitos explores the bathhouse and in with her maids, she ends up having a fantastic time. However, even though Chitos approves of the bathhouse services, she asks why they couldn't have used her mansion, and Tsukasa explains it is because Chitos doesn't have a game system. Chitos exclaims that she'd buy all the modern gaming consoles to lure Tsukasa to her mansion, but she ends up catching Aya instead, who also loves games. Tsukasa decides that with everyone gathered they should have the Takoyaki Party, and Aya challenges Tsukasa's cooking ability to see if she is worthy to be Nasa's wife, as young people like herself have no idea how to cook. With the help of Chitos's maids, Tsukasa cooks the feast for the Takoyaki Party, and her cooking is approved by everyone at the party, winning over even Aya, who realizes that she can't compete with Tsukasa in cooking, so she challenges the girl over Street Fighter. Nasa reveals that he also plays games like Minesweeper and Solitaire, which makes him a simpleton. Nasa is quickly defeated by Tsukasa, and although Kaname puts up a fight, she is also defeated. The maids decide to up the ante of the party and host a gaming tournament where Nasa owes a favor to the winner of the tournament, as long as it is something he can do. Chitos, Aya, and Tsukasa enter the tournament. Chitos enters to force Nasa to perform a naked handstand, but Aya destroys her, and after Chitos demands a rematch, Aya continues to annihilate her in Street Fighter. Tsukasa starts her own match, and Chitos reveals that she used to just play video games all day. But when Tsukasa loses, she complains about being rusty and demands that they switch games to the very first version of Street Fighter. As Aya doesn't know how to play the retro Street Fighter, she quickly loses. And as the two gamers continue to play, the rest of the party realize they have forgotten about the tournament. Soon Aya gets used to the controller, and they decide to tie after a double KO. The party progresses to making and eating takoyaki. And as Chitos watches Tsukasa cook happily with Nasa, she starts to accept the couple to the teasing of her maids. After the party, Nasa asks what Tsukasa was going to ask as a favor if she won the tournament, and she kisses him. One morning, Tsukasa's new phone arrives, and she is very excited to finally be able to get on Instagram. Since she has no idea how modern phones work, Nasa sets it up for her, and she takes a picture of him for her wallpaper. When they add each other's contact info, they are a little embarrassed to list themselves as husband and wife. And later that day, Tsukasa announces to Kaname that she finally got line, which is a huge improvement over smoke signals and drums. They add each other, and Kaname's profile picture is a sexy radish, Nasa's picture is of John von Neumann, and Aya's is of a pop star. Later, Nasa gets a call from his old workplace, where a former nerdy coworker is asking for help in their office. And since he will be gone for the whole day, Kaname teases Tsukasa about her separation anxiety. Since working at the bathhouse is boring during the day, Tsukasa explores cute stickers on her phone, and Aya encourages Tsukasa to brighten Nasa's day by sending him stickers, but she doesn't in case he's working hard. That night, Tsukasa waits for Nasa to return, and she wonders if Nasa misses her, until she gets a text from saying that he is thinking of her, but he might have to work till morning. As Tsukasa prepares for bed, she accidentally sets out both futons and tries to persuade herself she doesn't miss him. The next morning, Nasa returns from working all night and tries to avoid waking her, but Tsukasa was already awake because she couldn't sleep all night. After she decides to sleep in his futon with him, Nasa is amazed at her initiative, and she reveals it was because they were apart the whole day, and that night they go to sleep in each other's arms. The next morning, Tsukasa is embarrassed about the night before, and Kaname teases her, wondering if the couple got up to anything while she was asleep, or while her sister Aya was gaming. Kaname accuses them when she notices the couple act embarrassed around each other. Meanwhile, Chitos is awoken by her maids in a strange manner. And at breakfast, Charlotte reveals she had witnessed Nasa and Tsukasa act embarrassed around each other. Chitos insists they could only be hand-holding, and is too worried to think about anything else. That night, Nasa and Tsukasa are still awkward around each other, especially as Kaname keeps sending them teasing messages. Finally, they decide to ignore everyone else as they kiss before bed. One day, when Nasa is working from home, Tsukasa advises him to take things easy or he will burn himself out, calling him a workaholic. And as the days pass by, Tsukasa notices that Nasa quickly becomes sicker and sicker until he is out from a cold due to overwork. Tsukasa announces that as his newlywed wife she will take care of him, but when he passes out she realizes there isn't much to do while he is sleeping. When he wakes, Tsukasa asks if she could do anything, but Nasa seems fine to her disappointment. To his embarrassment, Tsukasa demands to wipe him down and he reluctantly agrees. But when she wants to wipe him down further, she also stops due to her own embarrassment. That night, Nasa apologizes because he isn't the type to get sick, but Tsukasa reminds him that when he powered through his injuries when they first met, she could tell that he had the personality to ignore taking care of himself. As he takes his wife's advice to heart, she hugs him while they sleep and professes she is very worried about his health. And Nasa promises to take care of himself better so that they can go to a summer festival together. After they kiss, Tsukasa tells him to slow down since he's still a little sick. The next day, Kanem tries to convince Tsukasa to wear a yukata for the summer festival because girls look cute in yukata, and she has prepared a yukata for Nasa after seeing his measurements. After they prepare to go to the summer festival, Nasa insists on taking many photos of her, and when they arrive at the festival, Tsukasa demands to have takoyaki cooked in a more traditional fashion. After eating, they discover that Chitos and Aya are actually running a goldfish catching stall together, as they are volunteering to help the local business. Tsukasa proclaims that she is very skilled at goldfish catching, and Nasa challenges himself to impress his wife but fails to catch anything. They next go to a nearby shrine where Tsukasa wishes for a happy marriage and for Nasa's health. And Tsukasa reveals that although people online and strangers may be impressed with his strange efficient diet, as his wife she worries about his health and will continue to push him to take better care of himself. Their friends arrive to see the fireworks, and Nasa reveals he took many pictures of Tsukasa that he will never delete even if they are a little embarrassing. With their friends, the couple watch the summer fireworks, and Nasa wishes to see them with Tsukasa again every year for the rest of their lives. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.